and take it one step further. Become the hopes and dreams of the slave realized. Ladies, gentlemen, and all those in between, I have the honor to introduce the first woman and the first Black woman to be the Vice President of the United States. Give it up for Kamala Harris, y'all.
Hopes and dreams are alive and well. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Please have a seat. I'll tell you, when I listen to Azalee, I know the future of our country is bright. So it is so good to be back in Selma, and I want to say on behalf of the second gentleman and me, it is a privilege to be with so many extraordinary leaders, members of Congress, members of our administration, dedicated activists, and dear friends. So before I begin today, I must address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. What we are seeing every day in Gaza is devastating. We have seen reports of families eating leaves or animal feed, women giving birth to malnourished babies with little or no medical care, and children dying from malnutrition and dehydration. As I have said many times, too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. And just a few days ago, we saw hungry, desperate people approach aid trucks, simply trying to secure food for their families after weeks of nearly no aid reaching northern Gaza. And they were met with gunfire and chaos. Our hearts break for the victims of that horrific tragedy, and for all the innocent people in Gaza who are suffering from what is clearly a humanitarian catastrophe. People in Gaza are starving. The conditions are inhumane. And our common humanity compels us to act. As President Joe Biden said on Friday, the United States is committed to urgently get more life-saving assistance to innocent Palestinians in need. Yesterday, the Department of Defense carried out its first airdrop of humanitarian assistance, and the United States will continue these airdrops. And we will work on a new route by sea to deliver aid. And the Israeli government must do more to significantly increase the flow of aid. No excuses. They must open new border crossings. They must not impose any unnecessary restrictions on the delivery of aid. They must ensure humanitarian personnel, sites, and convoys are not targeted. And they must work to restore basic services and promote order in Gaza so more food, water, and fuel can reach those in need. As I have said repeatedly since October 7, Israel has a right to defend itself. And President Joe Biden and I are unwavering in our commitment to Israel's security. Hamas cannot control Gaza. and the threat Hamas poses to the people of Israel must be eliminated. Hamas is a brutal terrorist organization that has vowed to repeat October 7th again and again until Israel is annihilated. Hamas has shown no regard for innocent life, including for the people of Gaza, who have suffered under its rule for almost 2 decades. And Hamas still holds dozens of hostages for nearly 150 days now. Innocent men and women, including American citizens, who were brutally taken from their homes and from a concert. I will repeat, the threat of Hamas poses to the people of Israel must be eliminated. And given the immense scale of suffering in Gaza, there must be an immediate ceasefire. For at least the next 6 weeks, which is what is currently on the table. This will get the hostages out and get a significant amount of aid in. This would allow us to build something more enduring, to ensure Israel is secure, and to respect the right of the Palestinian people to dignity, freedom, and self-determination. Hamas claims it wants a ceasefire. Well, there is a deal on the table. And as we have said, Hamas needs to agree to that deal. Let's get a ceasefire. Let's reunite the hostages with their families. And let's provide immediate relief to the people of Gaza. I will now address the occasion for our gathering today on this hallowed ground on the foot of the Edmund Pettus Bridge, where 59 years ago, on a cold Sunday morning, 600 brave souls set out from Selma, hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder. They marched for the freedoms that were theirs by birth and theirs by right. The freedom to vote, the freedom to live without fear of violence or intimidation, the freedom to be full and equal members of our nation. They marched peacefully. They knew violence against them was inevitable. They knew they would be surrounded by troopers with nightsticks. They knew they might be trampled by horses. Even so, they marched forward. But they were forced to retreat, and yet they would not be deterred, defeated, or denied. And they returned to this bridge while many were still bound in bandages, because they knew what was on the other side. A promise of a future that was more equal, more just, and more free. And yes, they crossed this bridge. And in so doing, they also built a bridge. They brought together white Americans, black Americans, all sorts of Americans, and ministers and rabbis and members of SCLC and SNCC and folks of all ages and backgrounds. And less than 6 months later, the Voting Rights Act of 1964 was signed into law. The story of Selma, a story of our nation. Freedom is fundamental to the promise of America. Freedom is not to be given. It is not to be bestowed. It is ours by right. And the power behind the promise of freedom has always been in the faith of her people and our willingness to fight for freedom, be it on the fields of Gettysburg, in the schools of Little Rock, on the streets of Ferguson, and on this bridge right here in Selma. And today we know our fight for freedom is not over, because in this moment we are witnessing a full-on attack on hard-fought, hard-won freedoms, starting with the freedom that unlocks all others, the freedom to vote, the sacred freedom to vote. Today, in states across our nation, extremists pass laws to ban drop boxes, limit early voting, and restrict absentee ballots. In Georgia, extremists passed a law to even make it illegal to give people food and water for standing in line to exercise their civic duty and right to vote. I ask the friends here, Rev, whatever happened to love thy neighbor? The hypocrisy abounds. And do notice, the governor of Georgia signed that law on the 56th anniversary of this very march. Across our nation, extremists attack the integrity of free and fair elections, causing a rise of threats and violence against poll workers. In the face of these assaults on the freedom to vote, and in honor of all those who crossed this bridge, President Biden and I will continue to demand that the United States Congress pass the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. The fight for freedom. Today, in states across our nation, extremists propose and pass laws that attack the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body. Laws that would make no exception even for rape or incest. Here in Alabama, they attack the freedom to use IVF treatment. Women and couples denied the ability to fulfill their dream of having a child. And consider the irony. On the one hand, these extremists tell women they do not have the freedom to end an unwanted pregnancy, and on the other hand, these extremists tell women they do not have the freedom to start a family. Let us agree. One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do with her body. The fight for freedom, that every person in our nation has a right to be free from the horror of gun violence. And yet today, these extremists stand by and refuse to pass reasonable gun safety laws to keep our children and places of worship safe. Freedom. That every person in our nation has a right to be free to love who they love openly and with pride. And yet, just this past year, extremists have passed or proposed hundreds of laws targeting LGBTQ people. Freedom. That every person in our nation has the freedom to learn and acknowledge our country's true and full history. And yet today, extremists pass book bans in this year of our Lord 2024. While they also try to erase, overlook, and rewrite the ugly parts of our past. Fundamental freedoms under assault. The freedom to vote, the freedom from fear, violence, and harm, the freedom to learn, the freedom to control one's own body, and the freedom to just simply be. And understand the profound impact these attacks have on the next generation of our leaders. Just last fall, 15,000 young leaders joined me during my Fight for Our Freedoms college tour. And for them, these attacks on freedom are a lived experience. It is their lived experience that extremist leaders have intentionally closed polling places near college campuses. and restricted the use of student IDs to vote. That it is black voters and student voters who are most targeted by anti-voter laws. A lived experience that during the height of their reproductive years, the highest court in our land, the Court of Thurgood, and RBG took a constitutional right that had been recognized from the people of America, from the women of America, so that now this generation has fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers. Their lived experience, that from kindergarten to 12th grade, they have consistently had to endure active shooter drills, while extremists refuse to pass universal background checks, red flag laws, and an assault weapons ban. Our young leaders, well, they are clear-eyed about what's at stake. And in the spirit of a young John Lewis, I know they too will not be deterred, they will not be defeated, and they will not be denied. So, Selma, the challenges we currently face are not unlike the challenges faced by those 600 brave souls 59 years ago. And in this moment, we too then are confronted with a fundamental question: what kind of country do we want to live in? Do we want to live in a country of freedom, liberty, and justice, or a country of injustice, hate, and fear? We each have the power to answer that question with our voice, with our feet, and with our vote. I'll close by sharing with you, in my West Wing office in the White House, yeah, that's where I work, I hung a piece of this artwork that is the first thing I see when I walk into my office in the morning. It's a large framed photograph taken on Bloody Sunday depicting an injured Amelia Boynton receiving care at the foot of this very bridge. And for me, it is a daily reminder of the struggle, of the sacrifice, and of how much we owe to those who gave so much before us. History is a relay race. Generations before us carried the baton, and now they have passed it to us. So let us continue to organize, let us continue to fight, and let's make some good trouble along the way. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you all.
Please remain in your seats. Please remain in your seats.
Got it. Yep.
Well, pay me the big bucks. There you go. Thanks.
Yeah. Because now, then you don't get to plug in, but you don't get to go to $5 now.
Think it's going to be moving very fast?
Because they have people in wheelchairs, so I'm assuming they're gonna.
Alyssa.
Look at Dolly's shot.
Yeah.
No time to roll it.
I know. That is how it is.
Defense mine.
It's never.
Yeah.
It's like, should I white balance in the shade? But no, because I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm not. So then, boom, it's all. Yes.
Okay.
My entire first row.
Sochi.
One step forward.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
doing good.
Let's begin locking arms so I can see a full first row. Please lock arms first row so I can see a full first row. Lock arms in the first row. Let me get the secretary right here. Let me move you all down just against too much. So the secretary
iconic, right? To get your own version
Yeah,
of
it's a huge thing.
it's like your 2024 version.
Yeah. It's actually it's pretty badass to even be standing here.
We definitely connect.
Parking outside the bridge. We can park over there across the bridge. Yeah, you got another one?
You can land on me. I'm going to be walking behind, but if I'm in your shot, tell me to move right right.
What's your name?
No, I can't do
Really
that.
cool.
Yes.
Shelby?
Joe. Yes. I'm Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Yeah. So. Correct. At your own risk. At your risk.
All right, listen up very carefully. Thank you for your cooperation. Please, make sure you are in a full line. So let's just try this. Can you link up with the line just so you can see what you're not in line? Just link up. We want to be clear because we are sending line on line. And I know 3 or 4 young guys. So just link up right here. We can take pictures in a minute. Link up, link up. Last line is joining so we can bring out the Vice President.
Oh yeah, it's the sun.
That's 30 seconds, Sharon. Not in any shot.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Don't let 'em turn me around. Don't let 'em turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom's land. I am somebody, maybe poor, but I am somebody, feed me, protect me, guide me, I am somebody, I'm fired up, I ain't gonna take it no more, ain't gonna take it no more. Woke up this morning with my mind. Stay on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind. Stay on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind. Stay on freedom. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
What are they saying?
First row. Second row, start moving.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Can you go down a little? We can move.
Come a little bit more. Come a little bit more. I'll get some.
Go ahead.
Snap on the left. Snap on the right.
the wilderness toward the promised land. Here we face threats again. Those that underline Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act. Those that have seen Selma trampled. Yes. Sister fighting. Sister fighting. Keep fighting. Right. We ask you to give us strength. Give us strength. Put your arms of protection around our vice president. Yes. Around our president. Yes. They still with wars and wars.
Do you have what you need, son? All right. CNN crew, you have what you need. That's it.
They're crossing the border.
Till they pass the John Lewis Act, we shall not be moved. All right. Till they pass the John Lewis Act, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Until we say democracy, we shall not be moved. Until we say democracy, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water.
Hey, we need this whole area clear from what you want. Yeah, we're trying to come in around.
I'm aware, but we're trying to get to that side. And when we fight, we win. Everybody come across the street.
Go to the sidewalk side. Oh, you got my sticks? No.
Where are the sticks? Just hold right here. Just hold right here on the side.
Everybody back.
Hold on the side.
Everybody.
What guy?
I think they're over there. Yeah, they told me to come out.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're here now. Okay.
Along the sidewalk.
You got everybody? Yeah. You got all press? All right.
All right, who?
Yeah.
Who?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Pool can go ahead, yeah.
Over here. Over here. Perfect. You parked at the end of this bridge, right? You got your sticks?
Yep.
Thank you.